all, welcome to Mysteries with Divina. I am your host, the Godmother of Mysteries, and today I have another story for you. Before we get into the story, we have another riddle. And this week's riddle is, who makes it has no need of it. Who buys it has no use for it. Who uses it can neither see it nor feel it. What is it? Stick around until the end of the show to find out the answer. Alrighty, diving into today's story. Today's story, well, if I put it like this, is the reason why I absolutely refuse to get on dating apps. Never will you find me on a dating app, okay? It's just too dangerous nowadays. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, let us proceed. On May 23rd, 2020, 25-year-old Ashlyn Black was swiping on Tinder when she matched with 24-year-old Ethan Hunsick, a father of one who had recently separated from his wife. The two hit it off and decided to meet up for dinner and drinks. Okay, first red flag. The man just separated from his wife. It doesn't say exactly how long this period was since his separation from his wife or whatever, but they have a child together, okay? So it was a very serious relationship. The first thing I like to tell my friends, right, when they break up with somebody, stop trying to jump into another relationship the next day, okay? People, take some time. Heal. That's all I'm saying. Ethan picked Ashlyn up from her house around 9 p.m. Okay, wrong again. It's the first date. People, do not let strangers pick you up from your house on the first date. Listen, I'm not blaming the victim for what happened to her on this date particularly, right? I'm just wanting to give you all some advice, okay? That's all. They went to a local bar where they spent about 4 hours before going back to his house. Wrong again. You known this man 4 hours? First of all, you matched on the same night that you met the man. Too fast. Ethan had recently moved into his new home, so it wasn't furnished yet, and he lived there alone. My God, this is a recipe for disaster, okay? She doesn't know the guy that well. She has him pick up from her house, so if she does at some point even pick up on the signs that he's in psycho, she can't even, just be like, well, I gotta go, and that's it. No, now she's dependent on him, or, nowadays it's a little bit easier, right? You just call an Uber. Well, not call. You open up your app and you get an Uber, right? But still, you're setting yourself up for a not too comfortable situation, right? Because then if you tell them you're going to get another ride, then they automatically will know at that time that you don't feel comfortable going home with them. You know what I mean? So just, people, please, drive yourself to the first date, okay? That's all I ask. And he lives there alone. Listen, people. Men, women, not the same. Odds, not in the woman's favor. If something goes wrong and you all are alone, it's up to you to defend yourself. Remember, you can have some pepper spray or, my father always tells me go for the throat, okay? Moving on. On May 24th, Layton Police Dispatch received a 911 call in Utah. The call was made by Ethan at 3:20 a.m. that morning. Ethan told police that he killed a person inside his residence at 1300 North Reed Avenue. When police arrived at his house, they found the body of a woman on the floor in one of the 3 bedrooms. Ethan told the police that he only met the woman that night and he knew her first name but not her last. How despicable and how sad. You just murdered somebody. You took somebody's life and you don't even know them. You don't even know what kind of person they are. It's just sad. It really is terrible, honestly. Police found performed her identification with her belongings in the bedroom and established that she was in fact Ashlyn Black. Police observed that there were multiple stab wounds to her torso. On top of that, he had to be violent. Ethan told police that they had intimate relations on the floor in one of the bedrooms, and when he woke up, he found Ashlyn lying on his arm. Good grief, not even an air mattress on the floor? Let me just tell you this, ladies, you're worth more than a floor, okay? Ethan told police that the date was normal and that they didn't argue, yet for some inexplicable reason, he killed her. Wow. Fantastic response. I guess we have to give him brownie points maybe for being honest. He went on to outline his actions when he woke up that morning. According to Ethan, he began to choke Ashlyn for as hard as he could for 1 minute. That's a quote. Ashlyn woke up and fought for her life. She tried to get him to stop and tried to pull his arms away from his neck, and there were in fact marks on his arm, neck, and shoulder area. Can you imagine how terrified she must have been? Just to know that your life is in the hands of some stranger. Don't even know this person. Ethan got up and went into the kitchen to get a knife. Oh, my goodness, as if it wasn't already enough that you choked the woman. He returned to the bedroom with the knife, a spring-assisted pocket knife that had a 4-inch blade, and stabbed Ashlyn multiple times. He kneeled over her as he stabbed her between 5 to 10 times in the chest, sides, and back. Okay, so obviously we know that she must have been unconscious when he came back with the knife. Was she dead at that point? I don't know. For sure there was damage already done to her. She's helpless, and then he has to come back and stab her for what? Why? There was no need, no reason for that. I guess to make sure he finished her off. By Ethan's own account, he waited 10 minutes before he called 911. What he did during those 10 minutes, I don't know. Pondered life, I guess. Stared at her dead body, I don't know. What does a psycho murderer do during those 10 minutes? Ethan told police that he was diagnosed with mental health illnesses and struggled with daily thoughts of homicidal actions and suicide. He was charged with murder. Oh, so you're telling me you're aware that you're crazy and you did nothing about it? Not try to put yourself in therapy? No, you decided to get on a dating app so you could find some prey? Absolutely disgusting. Disgusting human being. Really. You know, I like to point this out all the time, is that these situations could always have been prevented. Listen, buddy, being depressed because your lady left you is no excuse to murder somebody, okay? And it's no excuse to stop taking care of yourself either. Life goes on, okay? Ashlyn was a much-loved daughter, a friend, and her co-workers adored her and were devastated by her murder. She was recalled as a kind and welcoming person by the Avenue's Proper restaurant in Salt Lake City, where she previously worked. Ashlyn liked to spend her free time camping and shopping for vintage clothing. She cared for special needs children and planned to adopt a child with Down syndrome. While Ashlyn was making plans for her future, Ethan's life was spiraling out of control. Prosecutors said Ethan had thought up ways to kill and kidnap others shortly before Ashlyn's death. Ethan worked at a concrete and asphalt company and seemed like a great employee until his personal circumstances changed. He broke up with the mother of his young daughter and became withdrawn. His work suffered, he missed days, and arrived late. This just kind of goes to show you, is that someone may seem normal and you just don't know what could possibly trigger that person to change, right? But what bothers me about this section that we have now just come across is that you're telling me that other people knew that he had thoughts like this and did nothing about it. Nothing? No warning to somebody? No, maybe like... I don't know, maybe somebody should start Facebook groups, right? I mean, I know Facebook is kind of like the old people site nowadays. But I don't know, something like a Facebook group that's like, hey, watch out for these psychos. I don't know. What can you do, right, in a situation like that? I mean, I guess if it was me, I'd probably stay as far away as possible and probably want no part of it, to be honest. But it's just sad because the signs are always there before things happen and people just don't do anything. And then you have somebody like this that was a light to other people that wanted to do good things with her life, and she's gone now. 25 years old. So sad. Within a few months, he lost his job due to an altercation with a female coworker. He made dark comments, and his coworkers reported he had talked about harming women. Again, the signs were there, and nobody did anything. They just fired him. I mean, I read up a little bit on the female coworker situation, and I didn't find out exactly what the argument was about, but I did find out that there was a coworker that he was trying to go on a date with, and that she got the heebie-jeebies from him. And that's another thing that I will say in this video as a little piece of advice, is that trust your gut. You got that inner voice inside of you. When something don't feel right, you go in the other direction, my friend. That's that sense in there. It's not in there for no reason, okay? Ashlyn's family released a statement. A monster has taken away the life of our little girl in a crime as senseless as it was evil. And I absolutely agree. This crime was evil. So unnecessary. Our hearts are broken and our lives are forever changed due to the despicable acts of another person. In just a few senseless and selfish minutes, a life of an amazing, fun-loving young woman was taken, one who had a passion for being the voice of those who could not speak out for themselves, and a gift for working with those who have special needs. The lives of her friends and family are permanently altered. No time can fill the emptiness we feel and the hole it has left in our hearts. We ask for privacy as we grieve and mourn our loss. This story is really not that old, right? 2020 is when this happened. We're talking 3 years ago now. And my heart really goes out to this family. I know that there's no amount of time that could ever fill the void of losing a part of your family. And this just really sickens me. This man, he is ill. Ethan, who initially pleaded not guilty but changed his plea to guilty but mentally ill, no kidding, in June 2021 was sentenced to 15 years to life in prison for Black's murder. But before he is sent to Utah State Prison, he will be committed to the Utah State Hospital for no more than 18 months or until his mental state has been stabilized. 2nd District Judge David Connors ruled. Part of the reason Connors ruled that Hunsaker would first go to the state hospital is because Hunsaker said he is experiencing suicidal and homicidal ideation, the judge said. After Connors announced the sentence, he addressed Hunsaker directly and said that he hoped that Hunsaker would receive the treatment he needed at the state hospital. And this is a quote from the judge. But frankly, I admit that's not the primary reason I'm doing this, he said, adding that he was concerned for the inmates, correction officers, and others that Hunsaker might harm if he was sent straight to prison without treatment. Wow. I mean, I get it, right? How much can a prosecutor really sympathize with someone who just committed cold-blooded murder on an innocent woman that did not deserve it, right? He's more concerned about the other people that are going to be around him. He's more concerned about the other wackos that are in the jail than the guy himself. A prosecutor for the state said Hunsaker hadn't shown remorse for his actions. Of course he did it. I swear those people that are, not good upstairs, there's something disconnected up there. There's no empathy for that person. I mean, to just wake up, right? You had a date with this girl, everything seemed to go fine, you were intimate with each other, You wake up and you look at her and you think, now I'm going to kill her. I mean, that's not normal thinking. That's not somebody who would feel any sort of remorse, because that person is crazy, okay? That, my friends, is the end of our story today. I really want to encourage you all here in my ending remarks to please be safe. You cannot trust anybody in this world at all, okay? Once again, I want to repeat one more time, I'm not blaming the victim, okay? She obviously had a loving heart and was a trusting person, and would never have imagined in a million years that this guy who seemed to be interested in her, would end up killing her. I'm sure that never crossed her mind. But what we can do is we can learn from this, right? We can take her experience and make sure we don't make the same mistakes. As I said throughout the video, be smart when you're dating. You will not catch me on dating apps ever. I would rather die alone with my cats than get on one of those things, okay? And the answer to this week's riddle is a coffin. What'd you guys think of that one? I thought that one was pretty good. You know, honestly, when I first read it, I had no idea. I really didn't. But anyway, as I was saying, please all be safe, take care, God bless, and I'll see you all next time.